Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, both on the same team, man. The Steelers have said that Russell Wilson is their guy. He will be the starter. They even said they plan to give him a long-term contract also, depending what happens next season. Somebody's already shaking their head right now. Smells like a hater to me. But with that being said, man, will there be a quarterback controversy in Pittsburgh in the new season?
We're gonna let Mr. Box Office kick it off. What you thinking, Mr. Box Office?
There definitely will be at some point. Obviously, starting with training camp, they're immediately going to, the NFL media, including us, is going to say, well, who is going to start for the Pittsburgh Steelers? I think we're all and the Steelers are expecting to roll with Russell Wilson at first because he's the veteran. He's got the Super Bowl title. They signed him first, and I think that matters somewhat here. Because obviously at one point they had options and they decided to sign Russell Wilson. And I don't think they even planned to sign Justin Fields until Kenny Pickett was disgruntled and wanted out. So I think Justin Fields was the backup plan here. Now, going into the season, I think we're going to hear all season long. Let's say Russell Wilson starts and he struggles the first game. Immediately, the NFL media is going to say, well, should they start Justin Fields? I think what's going to happen here is I think Russell Wilson, unless he wins them a Super Bowl, I think is going to be one and done in Pittsburgh. And I don't think Russell Wilson is washed yet. But I think that they're going to look at the money situation in a year and say, if we want to go forward, we're going to pay Justin Fields less than we would pay Russell Wilson going forward. Because Russell Wilson, I don't see him taking a big pay cut going forward. And I think at that point, Russell Wilson is just going to be going from team to team how he's already started. So I think Russell Wilson's a better quarterback right now, but I think Justin Fields is their future. And I think they're going to start preparing for that next offseason, regardless of how this goes this year. I think that they're going to give Justin Fields at least a couple years as their starting quarterback down the line.
All right, what you thinking, C?
I like what Box Office said, man. My thing is, this is the NFL, and everybody loves the backup quarterback. Everybody loves the backup quarterback. We dealt with that down here in New Orleans this year, man. With Derek Carr, Jameis Winston. Everybody wanted to see Jameis get in, and I think they're going to have to deal with that more in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh area, than we'll be really worried about it during the year. Because, like you said, the first bad game Russell Wilson had, everybody's going to be clamoring to get Justin Fields on the field. Now, do I really think that Fields is as good as a quarterback as Russell Wilson? At this point in Russell Wilson's career, probably so. But I do believe that he probably will make better decisions than Justin Fields. He's probably the better fit as a starter right now because of the simple reason he's been through so much, and Justin Fields could learn a lot from him. And I think that that's the plan in Pittsburgh right now. Start Russell Wilson, let Justin Fields learn under him for maybe a couple years, but definitely this year. And then they have their quarterback of the future, which he was winning games for the Bears since he's been there, but he's been doing it mostly with his legs, and that's because actually he hadn't had anybody to throw it to. He had Cole Kmet last year, and what's the guy's name? What's the receiver's name?
DJ Moore.
And DJ Moore. But I mean, he needed more than that. No pun intended. So putting him in Pittsburgh, and he's not gonna have too much more of a weapons to throw to in Pittsburgh than he did in Chicago. So let him sit while they build the team. I think that's a good idea for him, and I think that's the best move. That was the best move probably for Justin Fields and his future. I know everybody wants to play right now, but I think that's the best move for his future. Mike Tomlin's gonna give him time to get himself together and teach him how to be a pro for real. And I think he needs his time to sit under somebody. That's what the old quarterbacks used to do. You come in the league, you don't start right off. You have to sit a couple years and wait your turn. I think that this is what's going to happen with him.
All right, Alpha, what you got, big dog?
This is, first off, I think we need to send SVU. We need to send in SVU, Special Victims Unit, because the Bears got robbed. Okay, we need to put an SVU in. They robbed the Bears, but this is the best of both worlds for the Steelers. You got a 35-year-old quarterback in Russell Wilson who's battle tested, been to 2 Super Bowls, should have won 2 Super Bowls if it wasn't for goofy ass Pete Carroll and trying to throw the ball on the 1 yard line when you got Marshawn Lynch. He should have 2 Super Bowls.
Nobody ever forgive him for that.
They never will. He went to 2 Super Bowls, won 1 Super Bowl. Sean Payton never wanted him. Let's keep it a buck. He never wanted him. He kind of inherited him. Sean Payton's about to learn. Sean Payton's about to learn. He's about to learn too, bro. You benefited a lot from having Drew Brees. We really ain't seen you without Drew Brees, and you got a lot to prove. He's gonna have to roll with a rookie quarterback, but it goes back to what my man was saying back in the day. Well, there's 2 paths you can go to. You got the Aaron Rodgers route, where you sit behind a guy like Brett Favre, and then you got the Peyton Manning route, where we're going to throw you to the wolves. I don't think Justin Fields was advanced enough to be thrown to the wolves like that. And really, I think that this is going to help him out long term in his career, because now there's no pressure on him. There's no pressure on him. You get to sit back. You're going to get great coaching, outstanding coaching in a great, not a dysfunctional franchise. Let's get the Chicago Bears are dysfunctional. Okay. The Chicago Bears are dysfunctional. You got a cornerstone franchise with the Pittsburgh Steelers where you get to sit back. There's no pressure on you. You just get to develop. We know what you can do with your legs. We know that you're an athlete. It's a perfect situation with the Steelers. You're getting a guy who played at Ohio State, who played in the elements, okay, and he's 25 years old, 25-year-old, 35-year-old. You let Russ play for a year. They saw that their deficiency when they were going against the big dogs in the AFC, when you got to deal with the Buffalo Bills, when you got to deal with the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to have stability at the quarterback position. And then you look in your own division, you had the worst quarterback situation in the AFC North. You got Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph and Mitch Trubisky against the MVP of the league, against Joe Burrow, who, when he's on his game, this guy went to the Super Bowl in his 2nd year. And Deshaun Watson, who I expect sometime down the road to get back. So you had the worst quarterback situation in there, and then you're going up there playing against these elite teams in the AFC, and you just couldn't match up against them. You got a good defense, but your defense will get worn out because it was 3 and outs all the time. So now you got a good situation. Perfect. Russell Wilson, 1-year prove-it deal. You're paying him $2.1 million. You get some snaps for Justin Fields. You still have his 5th-year option. So this is a win-win situation. Pittsburgh Steelers, I have them winning the free agency right now. So I'm really excited. I ain't even a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Great. Khan, he's already the front runner for the GM of the year.
Okay. There's lots of pullback there. And let me start with what Keo said. I shook my head. Keo, it's not because I think what they did was bad, because I told you, as far as Kenny Pickett, I don't know what Kenny Pickett was thinking. He should have sat behind him and learned at the end of the day. But when you said long-term extension, the Steelers are – no, they're not. They're not bringing in Justin Fields and saying to themselves, Russell Wilson's getting a long-term extension. I don't buy that. That they can save that. I'm not even worried about that. But what the guys said, I do agree with all 3 gentlemen. At the end of the day, this is a great move for him. You get a 35-year-old Super Bowl winner. You get a young rookie quarterback with promising future. I think it's a win-win for him on all fronts. I look at that team, though. My only concern about Russ is, I've been saying it, I keep telling y'all, Pete Carroll and the Seahawks gave up on him. Sean Payton gave up on him. To me, that's a red flag. and he hasn't looked great. I know last year his numbers looked okay. I'm not sitting here disputing that. But his first year in Denver, it was horrible. It was horrible. It was bad. So my thing is, when I look at what I saw from Russell Wilson these last 2 years, and I say you're going to Pittsburgh, you guys just mentioned the quarterbacks. Those guys got them to the playoffs. If Russ don't get them off to a fast start, it's going to be rough in Pittsburgh because they're going to be calling for that backup quarterback to come in the game that's talented. So I look at those situations. I said to myself, man, at first it was cool for Russ because I don't think Kenny Pickett was going to take his job because they've seen him. But Justin Fields can definitely come in. That's the shiny new toy. Forget my old toy. I want that new toy playing. So I'm just looking at it. I'm saying to myself, I think, if Russ doesn't get up to a good start, especially like my man said, you got Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, and Lamar Jackson in that division. You don't get up to a good start, they're gonna throw him on the bench, and they're gonna say, "Let's see what we got with Justin Fields," because we're not gonna we're not gonna get to the playoffs if he doesn't get up to a fast start. So Russ has to get off to a fast start, but I do like what the Steelers did. I do think it's a quarterback competition because, like I said, if he doesn't get up to a fast start, expect Justin Fields to take that position earlier than later. What you got, Keo?
It's a horrible what the Steelers just did right now. There's no quarterback controversy in Pittsburgh, man. We're talking about Justin Fields, man. Justin Fields reminds me of what Trey Lance is going through. I don't see Justin Fields playing in the 2024-2025 season. And I think there's no new toy. There's no new toy in Pittsburgh. Justin Fields is not a new toy. Obviously, we've seen the guy's numbers. When you talk about the experience factor, I think Russell Wilson could do whatever you think Justin Fields could do. Russell Wilson just has experience. Russell Wilson could throw the ball better. Russell Wilson lifts this team up. I think they were at a 26% chance of making the playoffs. That jumped up for when they signed Russell Wilson all the way to a 39% chance to win the football games. You put Justin Fields in, it's going to be a disaster like we've seen in Chicago, and you won't win yourself any playoff games. I think it's the same scenario that Justin Fields was dealing with in Chicago now that he's in Pittsburgh. Justin Fields is just not a good quarterback at the end of the day. There's a reason why they traded him for a what round pick? Not a first round pick, not a third round pick. I mean, yeah, exactly. A 6th round pick. If he's that good for a 6th round pick, they must not think highly of you. The Steelers must not think highly. Oh, we get this guy for a 6th round pick. I just don't see what everybody else is seeing, because I've seen enough in Chicago.
I think to your point, Keo, them getting a 6th round pick, I think that's Chicago's fault. I think they held on to him too long. They should have gone ahead and traded him while the market was hot on him. They could have at least gotten a 3rd rounder easily.
But see, there's some teams that offered higher for him. That's all the reports. There's teams that offer like 5th and 4th rounds for him.
But
I don't know why they took the Steelers. I don't know what if there was some other factors in it, but they took the Steelers deal. But there was teams that offered 5th and 4th round picks, from what I understand.
Well, the report is the reason that he went to Pittsburgh is because that's what he preferred out of those teams. Is what
you're right. That's what it was. I read up on it.
Right.
We got to understand the Bears had no leverage here. Everyone knew they were going Caleb Williams, so teams are not going to give you a 2nd rounder or 3rd rounder.
That's
right. They had no leverage.
Look, man,
it's like if I put my couch out in front of my house. It's like if I say, "Hey, I'm trying to sell this couch.
Right.
I'll sell this couch by Friday. I'm going to put it out in front of my house." Guess what? Everybody's going to do. They're going to wait till Friday, and they're going to get the couch from the front of my house. That was the same situation. Man. But I just want to respond one thing about, well, he didn't look good in Chicago. Because Chicago's a dysfunctional franchise. Lots of times people look bad. It's not because they're a bad player. It's because they're in a dysfunctional franchise. A guy like David Carr back in the day who went number 1 to the Houston Texans, they're an expansion team. For all intents and purposes, what they're doing for Caleb Williams at number 1, that's what they should have been doing for Justin Fields. You can't call a guy a bum and then they don't surround him by anything. Do we know if Bryce Young can play? Not really, because he's in Carolina and they don't have nothing around him, so it makes him look terrible. Then you see a guy like CJ Stroud who's got the monsters around him, and he looks incredible. So where you go matters. Where you go matters. Who you play for matters, because some franchises can mess up a pot of boiling water. They can do that because they're that bad. They're just not good franchise. They're not very smart. So can Justin Fields play? The man won some games in Chicago. Now he gets to go and play with Pat Freiermuth and George Pickens and the weapons and Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. He won games in Chicago. You don't think he can win in that situation and competent coaching? Let's not underestimate the value of good coaching, because when you have a dumb coach, it makes you look really, really bad. Just saying.
Well, I mean, come on now. Let's not hype up the Steelers' weapons. Najee Harris, Warren. What you got? You got the guy Pickens over there also. We're not gonna hype those weapons up, man. And we're not gonna make it seem like they never sent Justin Fields help. They did trade to get. They did trade to get DJ Moore, which DJ Moore is better than any receiver right now that's currently on that Steelers roster. And I don't believe that Fields prefer to go to Pittsburgh, right? Just like Kenny Pickett grew up as an Eagles fan. I'm pretty sure he preferred to get traded over there to play behind Jalen Hurts. And